In this tutorial, we're going to look at how to hook up the buttons from Scaleform in Stingray. Alright, so in the last lesson we had designed our main menu inside of Scaleform. And now what we want to do is we want to import that into Stingray and get it working with our game. So to import a Scaleform project, it's really easy. You'll go to Import, and then you're going to go to the folder in which you saved your Scaleform project. And so in our case, we saved it under Scaleform Files, main menu.s2d, and then here is your main menu.s2d project file. Go ahead and hit Open on that. I've already imported that because there were a couple of hiccups with that, and I'm going to talk about what happened. So you can see the S2D projects is going to be created for you. That's going to be normal. And then we have the main_menu.s2d. Now the hiccup that I had was it added an extra .s2d at the end of that. And I'm not sure if that was just with this build, but you know, sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. So if it comes across with you, it's a very easy fix. All you have to do is go to the actual folder that is contained. Let me bring that up here. So as you can see, it's under our Stingray files, Quick Start, Stingray, S2D projects, and then the main menu.s2d. Now if you have the extra .s2d, all you need to do is just simply rename it and get rid of that extra .s2d. And then it should update right here inside of Stingray automatically. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, but I wanted to mention that just in case. So now that we have this file imported, you should see three files right now. You should see the Start Button Handler, the main menu project, and then your button widget. Okay. Now, whenever we want this to start working, there are going to be some things that we'll need to set up first. First and foremost, let's take a look at our script editor. And you'll see that I have several files already open, and this is because I wanted to get started pretty quickly on this. The first thing that I want you to open is your boot package. So that can be found under Quick Start, Stingray, your root folder, and then click on Boot Project. That should come up in the script editor. You'll need to add these three lines of code right here. So S2D equals brackets, and then this is going to be the directory in which your Scaleform project is located in your Stingray project. So it's going to be S2D_projects main menu. Just to help you clarify what that means is you can see the root right here. You can see S2D_projects and then main menu. With that boot project, do not add the .s2d at the end of that because it already knows that it needs to add that in the background. So now that that's finished, all you need to do is save it, and then I want you to move over to the main menu.lua. Now in the main menu.lua there are going to be several things that need to be changed to get this to work properly. The first thing is going to be under around line 26. It says if Scaleform then. You'll need to set up where the project is and what the project's name is. So the project name is main_menu.s2d_proj, and then this is the directory. So this should match what you put into the boot project. Okay. I also added one more line of code right here, and what this is going to do is scale our main menu based on the window width and height. So it's going to scale that properly. Now let's go ahead and go down a little bit further. Right now we've created what's called a custom listener. This code was already in there. Now you may not have this main menu.lua available. You might be going, okay, I don't see this anywhere. Where did you get it? I went ahead and I copied this code in from another project, from one of the template projects, just to get started very quickly. And I would recommend that you do that. Even though we're using the empty project, I would recommend that you do that. You can find the file. Let me go ahead and navigate to that really quickly. You can find it under your project files, assets, and scripts. Go to your main menu.txt and just hit Control-A to select all, and then Control-C to copy it. And then inside of Stingray in the editor, create a new file, and then just hit Control-V to paste that in. So all of this will already be set up if you do it that way. So let's go ahead and continue with the main menu.lua. So here you can see the custom listener. What it's doing is it's waiting for any custom events. It's listening for some of those, and we'll talk about when that message gets dispatched here in just a moment. Then we're looking at, let's see, let's go down a little bit further. Let's see, under the main menu.action around line 60, you'll see that the function is listening for an event. And so if it gets an event and the names match of that event, then it's going to start an action. Now the actions are all set up here, and right now this is for start, and it's listening for the event name called start game, and then it's going to do the start action. Now what that will do is it will shut down the main menu, and then it will start the next level, or the level that I've provided. In this case it's level underscore 01. Level underscore 01 is saved inside of content and levels, and you can see it right here next to main menu. Okay, so level underscore 01. Now inside of the script editor, really quickly, level underscore 01, that comes from the project.lua file. So in the project.lua file, you'll see right up here, you'll see project.level underscore names equals. I have two levels in this boot package currently, or in this project currently. We have the main menu, okay, and that is denoted by a variable called menu. And then I created level underscore 01 as a variable, but then I'm pointing to where that level is actually located. So content levels level underscore 01. You'll need to make sure that those are typed in properly and correctly at the exact same pronunciation and everything. So from here, let's go ahead and go down. I think that's everything that we need in the project. Yes, okay, that's good. Back to the main menu, we are waiting for start game. Start game is going to be received from the start button handler, and so you can see these lines of code right here. Those will need to be added to the start button handler.lua. So we have our custom event, and we're giving it a name called start game as a string. We don't need any data, but we could put some in there if we wanted, and that's going to be looking for a table, but I don't need any of that right now. And then here we're actually telling it to dispatch that event. So it's dispatching the event with the name and sending that out to whoever's listening. So in the main menu, remember we said that we have a listener up here waiting for that. And so whenever it receives it, it's going to say, all right, well, I heard start game under the event, so I need to go ahead and fire off this start action. Now everything that is going to start, it's going to go ahead and load the next level, and then we also have these actions that are available, other ways of getting that to start. So if we press the 1 on the keyboard, it will also send off that start message or action. If we hit escape, it will exit the game. And then we also have code for the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. Seeing how we don't have those development kits, that's not going to be available to us. But you can see how that is handling the starting and ending of those buttons. Now, there is one problem that we have with our Scaleform project. We only have the start button handler. We don't have the quit button handler. So what I would need to do is go ahead and come into my main menu.s2d, and I'm going to double click on my main menu, and I'm going to bring that up inside of Scaleform. And so we have our start menu, our start button, and then we have our quit button. Now remember, we copied and pasted that button in there, and what it's done is it's basically inherited the handler, and so I don't want that. I want to actually create a new handler altogether. So I mean, this won't be a really big deal, so I'm just going to delete it out, and then I'm going to go to widgets and button, And let's go ahead and call this quit underscore button. And then let's give it the same dimensions that we gave it before, 300 by 100. We're going to leave the auto script turned on, and it's going to create that handler.lua, and then we'll simply left click and drag that into the scene. Let's line that up a little bit better. Remember, we had the values of 825, and I'll say 905 on that. And then let's come in and open up the components of that quit button. And so for this one, we're going to set the blend to normal. We're going to set our style to tint. And let's go ahead and pick a screen color. And actually, let me try that one more time. Let's move this menu and then pick a screen color. So we'll do something like that. And I think it gets a little bit more saturated than that. There we go. Notice that it's kind of grayed out a little bit because we're working with that. Alright, so we're going to bring that in. I might try to darken that up just a little bit more. Okay, well, we're close. I'm not going to worry too much about it. We could go ahead and post those, write those values down and then post them here, but you get the idea. And then, let's see, we have everything that we need here. Yes, that looks good. Then we're going to go to label, and we're going to change it from button to quit. And then on quit, let's go ahead and change the color that's being used. Add a little bit more green. That should match pretty closely. And then now that we have all of that set, we can go ahead and go back, and you'll see that we have our colors there. And yeah, I think we can deal with the color difference there. It's not really that big of a deal. So now we have that set. Let's go ahead and save this out. So we're going to hit Control S to save it. And then with that saved, we should be able to go back into Stingray, and you'll see that we have our quit button handler automatically created. So let's double click on that, and it'll come up in our script editor. And so all I need to do now is add that code into my clicked function. So let's go ahead and take these lines of code, and I'm just going to copy those, and I'm going to paste these in right here. And instead of start game, I'm going to tell it to be quit game. Control S to save it. And then we'll go into our asset browser, and we'll hit F5 to refresh. And if you have any errors, they'll show up in red. If you have those, go to your log console, and you can get a better idea of what that error is talking about. So it may say something like it can't find a certain resource, or something like that. Alright, so now that we have this all set up, let's go ahead and give it a quick test. So I'm going to hit play, and it's going to come up, and you can see that our Scaleform menu is working as it should. We'll have to try to find the mouse here. For some reason, the mouse isn't showing up whenever I'm recording. Let me see if I can bring it back. And there we go. So if I hit start, you'll see that it starts the game. Let's go ahead and test our quit. Let's hit escape there, and let's bring Stingray back up. Let's hit play, and then let's hover over quit, and you'll see that it quits the application. So everything is now working as it should. So there's a lot of back end that you'll need to do to get that hooked up and working with the boot package and your project folder. Just remember, under the script, the first thing you'll do with the quit and the start handlers is you just need to add that code there. The main menu, you really just need to set up the names that you have set up in your quit handler and your start handler. And then you also need to make sure that you set up where the project is going to be. Okay. And I think that's just about it that you'll need here. And then your boot package, you'll need to add these lines of code. And then under project.lua, you'll need to tell it what levels you want to include in your project. So main menu and then level _01. So now that we have created buttons and we've created a very simple main menu and a UI, let's go ahead and move on to our final lessons, where we're going to talk about connections and deploying our games so that way we can share them with our friends. So I'll see you then.